Hello, Shannon from Life with Shannon here. I wanted to chat with you today about needs-based relationships. And this is all coming from my own distinguishment, my own discernment, my own self-exploration, and just in full on honor and respect of the relationship that I want to have with you. But first and foremost, and always, the relationship that I want to have with myself. And over the past few months, really since the beginning of 2019, I have been in what feels like, the way that I explain it to my friends and to my clients is when we're going through a really transformative phase in our life, it can feel like we're trying to keep up with all the moving parts. Like everything is just moving and you're like, where are we now? Where am I now? Better yet, who am I now? What's happening? What's going on? It reminds me of, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, the moving staircase. It's like the staircase moves and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is not where I was. Something has occurred. Something has happened. Where did the shift occur? And we're focused on like the where and the when and how. And we can become compounded by that, right? Trying to right the wrong, trying to retrace our steps. And I understand the fruitfulness of that. And I have been in reflection of it all year long. This entire year has felt like that for me. And I have shared with you plenty of times. If you're new, welcome. My name is Shannon. I'm a life coach. I'm a writer. I'm an author, 2 times published author. Can't believe that that's my truth. And a public speaker. And I've been building a business for, I want to say intentionally building a business for a year. Really been intentionally building my coaching business for a year. But this year, something happened at the beginning of this year where everything inside my body just shifted. And I don't really have an explanation or a reason as to why. And everything up until this point, up until the beginning of this year, has been with a feeling of, we got to figure out how that happened or why we're here, what's going on with that. And this whole year for me has been a lot about allowing and surrender and growing and responsibility and reflection. And one of the things that I realized at the beginning of this year is, this is hard to say, but I'm going to say it. I didn't like the way that my business was going because it felt like it was running me versus me running it. And I say that with ownership and responsibility for the fact that I've worked with amazing people in the course of my business. And there probably will be opinions about, holy crap, why is she saying that? What does that mean? But I'm allowing myself to discover the meaning as I go. And one of the things that I discovered this morning was a familiar feeling. I have made a commitment over the past few months of how I will be engaging with my audience and in ways that feel fruitful for me and feel like me, feel connective and feel rooted in what my purpose is, which is loving connection. Because I was feeling myself being taken out of that. And when I was getting taken out of that, I would feel confused. I would feel like I blacked out. I would feel like I was looking around like, how the fuck did I get here? This is not rooted in who I want to be. This does not make me feel good. This does not even feel like me. And so for the past few months, been really honoring that, pulling back, taking on self-containment, self-responsibility in a new way, and allowing myself to have conversations with myself, all the way down to, are these client relationships a fit? Yes or no? If not, take responsibility for that. Allow yourself to have boundaries for what you allow in and take responsibility, take action that's reflective of those things. Does how you're engaging with your audience feel like you? No? Okay. Time to get some self-containment, some responsibility, take action in a way that does feel that. So this morning I woke up and I was feeling an all too familiar tension of this need to do something. Like, oh, I have to do this. Because there's this way of being in the online space that's very dictatorial, if you will, in which case it's you must do these things in order for you to have presence and significance and relatability and cause and be a business. And I don't agree with that. I believe that we all find our sweet spot, and I believe that we can allow ourselves to be a cause for what works. So for me this morning when I woke up, and I was feeling that all too familiar feeling of like, you have to post this, and then you have to have this many stories, and then you got to do that, and you got to do this. And I was just like, this feels fucking awful. This feels like I'm a hand puppet, that somebody has their hand out my back and is like, do this and talk like that and be this and only show these things and only talk about these things and only give 5 key points for somebody to do whatever the fuck it is that you're telling them to do, and that you have all the answers and that you're so motivational and inspiring. And it's just this very big feeling of like I'm on a stage and I'm being told to go, you're on, perform. And I'm not that. I'm a person. So I allowed myself to be present with my morning ritual and teachings and work and things that I have to do. And in the presence of all that, gave myself some space and time with those feelings, the compounded feeling of you got to do, and this is who you need to be, and this is how you need to show up, and where and when and for whom, and conversational, blah, 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 all these fucking rules. And I got some space and some distance between it and allowed myself to realize that that does not feel like me. Again, even though I confirmed that before, reconfirming it with myself, right? Because we are growing beings. Who you are yesterday does not have to be who you are today. And who you are today can be drastically different than who you're going to be tomorrow. But when we get into conversations with ourselves that say, even though your body energetically rejects this, you are going to do the thing that you feel such a strong rejection to and from and with, that you're telling yourself you're wrong. You're wrong. Your feelings are wrong. Your thoughts are wrong. Your belief system is wrong. And when we get mad at ourselves for doing the thing that our internal being knew was not the way for ourselves, we shame ourselves for being like, well, I told you so. When we knew all along what was best for us. Maybe the justification to the world doesn't line up with what aligns with you. Maybe the justification for the overwhelming popular consensus on social media doesn't align with what aligns with you. Maybe who you were yesterday and the things that came out of your face and into your mind and into your heart doesn't align with what feels and thinks suitable for you today. We still have the option to hear ourselves, to slow down with ourselves, to open our eyes and see who we are being to ourselves, to say and recognize that doesn't work for me. I don't like it. And just because somebody else is saying that that's the way, or what I should do, or even what I have trained other people to expect from me, that doesn't mean that I can't change all those things as soon as I think them, as soon as I feel them, as soon as my body asks me and tells me to move differently, to be differently, to stand for our purpose and what we believe in. So every day is not a fucking walk in the park with transformation and growth. And I say this all the time. I think people have this delusional perspective of it should feel great all the time. And I'm like, I don't know where that got started, but okay, fine. I don't agree. I don't agree from personal experience that it's not always great all the fucking time. And I align with people that illustrate and offer to the world the idea of it doesn't always have to be wrapped up in a beautiful box with a bow. That just because somebody else thinks it doesn't mean it's true for you, feels it is true for you. And I encountered that this morning when I woke up, and on this day, I, again, was visited by an old way of being. Months later. And I didn't have to be shocked that I didn't know what to post or what to say. I knew I wanted to offer something, and I knew it because I love you and I believe in you and I believe in your growth and your transformation. But I also believe that sometimes the most fruitful thing that we can offer is just ourselves, just our truth, from moment to moment, whatever that is. And so because I didn't have the perfect thing to say, I didn't have the strategy or the formula figured out today, I went to a place that was frustrated and engaging my old way of being, not from a place that says she was wrong or anything like that, not disparaging, self-deprecating, just from a place of like, I see you, and then questioned it. What are you showing me? Well, I'm showing me in the moment of what I want to offer and what I want to give and who I want to be in our relationship, that when I didn't exactly know where I was coming from or what to do, I went to my automaticity. I went to the things that have worked for me in the past. And when I checked in with that and thought of indulging that and engaging that, my gut and my heart and my soul were like, boom. Do you not feel that? That doesn't feel right for you. And then when I took a step back and was like, whoa, what's that feeling, that guttural response? That's what I heard. I didn't hear anything about how terrible I was for not being able to come up with something, I don't know, worthy on the fly. I didn't have any perspective or preconceived notions about what it meant or what it doesn't mean about me as a business owner. I didn't have any right or wrong way about the opinions of what you were going to think about who I am as a coach. And that's because of time and effort and energy of growing into self-awareness. And it's sometimes not comfortable, and sometimes it's super enlightening and freeing, and it's just this amalgamation of things all the time. And so I decided that, to me, today, the most fruitful thing that I could offer you is just honesty. Because I love you. Because I believe in you. And I mean that from a place that shocks me sometimes. In a place that's not always comfortable, but always from a place that, like this, feels right. So I want to invite you today and every day for the rest of your life, for you, for your kids, for your grandparents, for your parents, to allow yourself to ground in to your thoughts and to your feelings about what it is that you need, and where is it that you want to come from? Who is it that you want to be? And allow yourself to indulge whatever that thing is. Because when I thought about, I still don't have an idea of how I want to show up today, the idea came to me immediately and was like, just be your fucking self. Because you want to offer something, but it doesn't always have to be wrapped up in a beautiful box with a pretty bow, have all the right words, 5 top tips, a sale, the most perfectly crafted sentence or script or dialogue. That, from my experience, the most fruitful thing that we can ever offer ourselves and the world is just being ourselves. So if you found this was impactful for you today, thank you. I love you. That means a lot to me, and I mean it. And if you think that somebody else can glean something from this, please tag them below or just share it in your stories, share it with them directly, whatever feels comfortable and like you. Otherwise, be good to yourself for fuck's sake. I love you. Your way is the way. And I'll talk to you soon.